In the small town of Maplewood, where the streets whispered secrets and the sun set behind golden fields, lived a man named David. He was charming, with an easy smile that could light up a room. His wife, Clara, was a radiant force of nature, embodying grace and virtue. Her laughter was a melody that could brighten even the darkest of days, and her kindness flowed effortlessly, touching everyone she encountered. Clara had an infectious passion for life, whether she was painting vibrant landscapes or volunteering at the local shelter, always seeking to uplift others. David often took her devotion for granted, reveling in the attention of others, drawn to the thrill of fleeting encounters. Their early years of marriage were filled with laughter and dreams. Clara would often reminisce about their wedding day, how beautiful she felt in her white dress, surrounded by friends and family. David, however, found himself drawn to the thrill of the chase, his heart racing at the thought of attention from women outside his marriage. Clara was his rock, always encouraging him in his endeavors and believing in him when he doubted himself. He brushed aside her unwavering support, entangled in the thrill of each new flirtation, oblivious to the precious love he was jeopardizing. As the years passed, David's secret escapades became more frequent. He met Emma at a bar, a spark igniting between them that felt electric. One night turned into many, each rendezvous adding to his growing web of lies. He justified his actions, convincing himself that he deserved a little excitement away from the mundane routine of married life. Clara sensed the distance growing between them. She noticed the late nights and the subtle changes in his behavior. But each time she confronted him, David would deflect with charming words and empty promises. He assured her that he loved her, that she was his everything. Yet, each reassurance felt like a band-aid on a festering wound. With each passing day, David became more reckless. He met Sarah, a bright-eyed artist who dazzled him with her spontaneity. They shared laughter and late-night conversations, igniting a fire within him that he thought had dimmed. Clara, meanwhile, poured her heart into their home, her love unwavering, blind to the betrayal unfolding just outside their door. One fateful evening, Clara found a text on David's phone, a simple message that shattered her world. "Can't wait to see you tonight. I enjoyed last night and can't wait to be in your arms again." The name was unfamiliar, a ghost in the fabric of their life together. Heart pounding, she confronted him. David, caught off guard, tried to laugh it off, but the facade crumbled under the weight of her heartbreak. Clara's composure broke as she hurled accusations at him, each word like a dagger, piercing through the walls he had built. "How could you do this to me?" "To us," she cried, her voice trembling. The gravity of his actions finally hit him as he saw the anguish in her eyes. Clara's tears fell like rain, each drop a reminder of the love she had given. "I deserve better than this, David," she said, her voice steady despite her pain. For the first time, David saw the cracks in his world, the beautiful life he had neglected. But even then, he couldn't grasp the depth of his loss. That night, as Clara packed her things, he tried to hold her back, begging for a chance to explain, but she merely shook her head, resolute. Days turned into weeks, and Clara's absence echoed through their home. The silence was deafening. David wandered through their empty rooms, memories haunting him like shadows. He saw her favorite mug still on the kitchen counter, the unmade bed, and the flowers wilting on the windowsill, symbols of a love he had taken for granted. As the seasons changed, so did David. He tried to fill the void with fleeting connections, but each encounter felt hollow. He chased the high of new relationships, but the joy was fleeting. In the quiet moments, he longed for Clara, the way she would laugh, her gentle touch, the warmth of her presence that had once filled their home. He reached out to friends, seeking comfort, but found only echoes of disapproval. "You had it all, man," they would say, shaking their heads. David felt their words gnawing at him, a constant reminder of his mistakes. Each story shared about Clara, her kindness, her unwavering support, struck him deeper than any criticism. Desperate for redemption, David began to reflect on his life. He scrolled through old photos on his phone, each image a reminder of happier times. He remembered the way Clara's eyes sparkled when she spoke about her dreams, her love for art, and how she would paint the world with vibrant colors. It was then he realized he had painted over her with the gray of his neglect. With renewed determination, he decided to reach out to Clara. It was a simple message at first, a tentative olive branch. "I miss you." But weeks passed with no reply. His heart sank with each passing day, the weight of his regret crushing him. Finally, he gathered the courage to visit her. Clara had moved into a small apartment in the city, a place filled with sunlight and new beginnings. Standing outside her door, he felt a surge of fear and hope. When she opened the door, her expression was unreadable. "David," she said softly, but her voice was steady. He stepped inside, the space a testament to her resilience. She had surrounded herself with art, her spirit shining through each piece. It was a reminder of what he had lost, her passion, her joy. "I'm sorry," he began, his voice shaking. "I took you for granted. I see that now." Clara's gaze was firm, her strength palpable. "You didn't just lose me, David. You lost the best part of yourself." The conversation flowed like a river, carrying their shared memories, laughter, and pain. David opened up about his regrets, his realization of how he had taken her love for granted. Clara listened, her heart torn between anger and a flicker of hope. But as he poured out his heart, Clara's expression hardened. "I can't forgive you," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Cheating was my deal breaker. I can't live in a world where trust doesn't exist." Each word struck him like a blow, and in that moment, he realized that no amount of regret could change her mind. The tension in the room escalated, Clara's tears mixing with the frustration in her voice. "I gave you everything, David, and you threw it away. You have to understand how deeply you've hurt me." As Clara closed the door behind him, the finality of her words hung in the air like a dense fog. Days turned into weeks, and David's world crumbled around him. He wandered through their old haunts, memories taunting him at every corner. Each laughter, every shared moment felt like a ghost of what once was, a painful reminder of his choices. David tried to move on, but Clara was irreplaceable. No one else could match her spirit or the warmth of her love. He met other women, each one a fleeting distraction, but none could fill the void she left behind. He spent countless nights replaying their moments together, wishing he could turn back time and cherish her the way she deserved. As years passed, regret became his constant companion. David learned to navigate life alone, the ache of his decisions carving a permanent place in his heart. He found success in his career, but it felt hollow without Clara to share it with. He attended social gatherings, but the laughter around him only amplified his loneliness. Every milestone he achieved reminded him of the love he had sacrificed. He kept a framed photo of Clara on his desk, a bittersweet reminder of the life he had lost. In moments of quiet reflection, he would sit with it, whispering apologies into the stillness, hoping that somehow, she could hear him. Ultimately, David lived in a world colored by his mistakes. The vibrant life he once had was now a grayscale echo of what could have been. He realized that no matter how many new beginnings he tried to forge, none would ever compare to the love he had squandered. Clara was his past, his regret, and now, a distant dream he could never reclaim. If you're enjoying these stories and want to hear more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. That way, you'll never miss a new folktale.